Hi there guys, I hope you have had a good day. Now there's more. More about Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. The fight's on, the fight's off, and apparently now Tyson Fury has explained he will not be fighting Deontay Wilder because they messed him around with a date. This is what Tyson Fury had to say. I was looking forward to smashing Wilder again. A quick, easy fight. But Wilder and his team were messing around with the date. They don't really want to fight the lineal heavyweight champion. They know how it ends. The world knows how it ends. With Wilder on his ass again. They asked me if I would agree to push it back to December. I agreed to December 19th. They then tried to change the date again into next year. I've been training. I'm ready. When they tried to move off December 19th and pushing it to next year, enough was enough. I've moved on. I am the best fighter in the world, the lineal heavyweight champion, the two-time Ring Magazine heavyweight champion, the WBC heavyweight champion, and before the end of 2021, I will be the only man on earth with a heavyweight world championship belt. So there we go, that is what Tyson Fury has had to say about this trilogy fight with Deontay Wilder. Clearly, he's had enough. He doesn't want to do it anymore, but, I mean, there are still contracts in place that I guess stipulate Deontay Wilder gets his opportunity. Whether that contract's expired, which we were previously led to believe, or not, we don't know at the moment. I mean, apparently now Tyson Fury is looking for a return to the UK on December 5th. No opponent confirmed just yet, but before we get too far ahead with that, we've been so up and down over the past few days about whether this fight's happening or not. And apparently, it was off. Then Shelley Finkel comes out and says that the fight's on and it will happen in December. Then Bob Arum explains that they cannot do a date in December because there is no options on the table. Then Fury says he's had enough, he's moving on because Deontay Wilder continues to move the goalposts. So is this fight happening? Is it not? Apparently not. But then again, something will happen where Deontay Wilder comes out and reaffirms that the fight is happening. So we don't know what's going on at the moment. We are being led this way and that way. And as fans of boxing, aren't we kind of fed up with it? I mean, don't we just want to move on from this trilogy? I'd be quite happy if Tyson Fury doesn't fight him. I mean, I'm not that bothered about a third fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Doesn't really interest me. I think Joe Joyce versus Daniel Dubois is in fact a better fight than this one. Because ultimately we've seen Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder twice. One in which Deontay Wilder got outboxed. Then the second one he got knocked out. So doesn't that tell you there is one definitive winner? That is Tyson Fury. So given that, is there any point in doing a third fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder? You would have to believe no, but there was a contract stipulating that they must do that. A contract that said the loser gets a rematch. I mean, even Tyson Fury had the opportunity to rematch Deontay Wilder had he lost. So that was in the contract, that was agreed. And that must be honoured because of the contract. And it can be reinforced, I guess, by some court, I would imagine. I mean, if the contract is still in place, I mean, we were told it was expired. But given what is happening and the fight was going to happen in July, then moved back again to December. I mean, do they get an extension to that contract? Or has it expired? Or will that contract in fact expire before they are able to get back into the ring? Because if it doesn't happen in December, then it's going to move into next year. And apparently it cannot happen in December anyway because Bob Arum has confirmed there are no dates because of college football and football in general. There are no dates in December. So if it does not happen then it's either November, which isn't going to happen. I think we can confirm that. So it will be next year. Tyson Fury has said he's not going into next year with this trilogy with Deontay Wilder. So ultimately, we're at a stalemate. From Shelley Finkel, we are told this fight is happening. It's going ahead in December. No mention from Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder has not piped up and said, yeah, I want this fight. It's happening. He doesn't say anything. He's completely quiet. So, I mean, until we hear from him, we don't know what is happening. I mean, Shelley Finkel says this and that, but ultimately it's down to the fighter whether he's fighting or not. And it doesn't seem that way because he doesn't seem to be talking about this fight. You would think he'd come out in the media and just say, no, this fight is happening. Tyson Fury can say what he wants, but I have him under contract. But we don't hear a single thing from Deontay Wilder. We barely hear anything from Deontay Wilder's team other than Shelley Finkel. And what does he know? Does he know whether this fight is going to happen? Clearly not, because he's saying one thing, that it will happen in December. Then we hear from Bob Arum that apparently ESPN and Fox, representatives of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, they say there is no date in December. So Shelley Finkel and Deontay Wilder are with Fox, yet Fox even say there is no date in December. Yet Shelly Finkel still comes out and says we're fighting in December in the US. I mean, it's just madness. They need to get something sorted out. They need to tell us whether this fight is happening, when and where. We know many other fights in the heavyweight division that are happening. I mean, the mega fights, Anthony Joshua, Kubrat Pulev, December 12th, Alexander Povetkin, Dillian White, on November 21st, Alexander Usyk, Derek Chisora, October 31st. Done, signed, sealed and delivered. Those fights are happening. So what is the problem with this one? I'm guessing someone doesn't want it. There must be. Or they are stalling. Does Deontay Wilder need more time? Is he still injured? Is he still recovering? Can he train? Because there were rumours about that. So is there some way in which this fight is being stalled? Or is it just one of those things where they just cannot get a date and both of the teams cannot agree when this fight is happening and where? Because 1 minute they're talking about doing it at a football stadium, then all of a sudden football's coming back so they can't do that. So ultimately it's moved from December 19th. Then there are no dates available at all in December, then moved from December. But Shelly Finkel from the other side says the fight is still happening in December, but ultimately it clearly isn't. And I think that in light of this, Bob Arum, Tyson Fury, Frank Warren, they are all ready to move on from this. They've had enough, especially Tyson Fury. He's a fighter. He wants to be in there fighting, and he's happy to have a homecoming in December. December 5th, that is the date he is looking at with a potential opponent. We don't know just yet. I mean, it's not going to be a world beater, I wouldn't imagine. What a statement it would be if it was, but ultimately it will be a homecoming on December 5th. Tyson Fury has become fed up with these negotiations. The fight is on, it's off. It's moved from December 19th. It's not even in December now. And I totally understand how Tyson Fury is just fed up with this situation, because we as fans are all fed up with this situation. I mean, we're not even really interested in Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder 3. We're interested in Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, or even Tyson Fury versus Alexander Povetkin or Dillian White. Just something different. We want to see Tyson Fury challenge the other top heavyweights, not just Deontay Wilder. We know who's better. We've seen it twice. That's enough. And I don't know why they want to continue to drag this out, but clearly Tyson Fury has had enough. Whether he is able to just decide that he doesn't want to do it anymore and move on to a different fight, we don't know. We don't know what is in that contract, but clearly Tyson Fury believes he is free and able to come back to the UK, have a comeback fight in the UK, and do that on December 5th instead of fighting Deontay Wilder for a third time. Hopefully that happens. We've all had enough of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. The fights and out of the ring. All of this back and forth. It must be put to bed and finished, finalised, done. Move on. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.